Alright, what's up everyone? Today I kinda just wanted to talk about the question surrounding Unite right now is Unite dying slash like is it declining, as well as my future as like a competitive pro player in the scene. So in case you don't follow my Twitter, not too long ago I posted this, which is basically just talking about how the release of Mewtwo and them having zero off-season tournaments for the West kind of like affects the hours watched on Twitch and just overall interest in the game. For some reason on my browser, it's showing each month as like 1 month back. So like this, for example, is actually October's, and this is actually September's, and then this is August, and so forth and so forth. I don't know why it's like this for me for some reason, but this is the actual like correct months. But I can still use this. Just bear with me here. But so is Unite dying? If you just want my short answer, you just click down this video just to see like my thought on it. My short answer is kind of yes, and I'm gonna explain here why I think so. So basically, at the start of last year's UCS season, right, we were kind of averaging about like 1.8, 1.5, 1.2. So it was about like 1.5 mil, 1.56 mil average, somewhere around there. And you can see it peaked right here at Worlds at 1.8 million. And ever since Worlds, we went into this really, really big dip where we went down to 800k, 900k, and then eventually back up once the next UCS season was announced. So basically, my like thoughts here on what happened was, right here is Worlds, right? And right here is the release of the new map, but it's also the release of Mew. And for those of you that don't remember, or maybe didn't play back then, Mew was extremely broken. Like, it was around, like, as well as Mime, for some reason. Mime got, like, turbo buffed, and those characters were sitting around, like, 55, 57% win rates. Something close to, like, Mewtwo Wise win rate right now. Like, it was actually gross. And they didn't nerf it, or at least they barely nerfed it for, like, the upcoming, like, 4 months. So people just completely lost interest in the game because it was completely dominated by 2 characters, as well as they had 0 announcements or 0 tournaments for the off season for West Coast, which is like NA, EU, LATAM, Brazil. They had nothing going on. So as you can see, there's a massive dip in interest here, especially during, you know, last year's like November, October, December, right? And then as you can see here, it picks back up once next UCS is announced. But as you can see, the viewership only went back up to 1.10 million, right? As you can see, that is still a massive decrease from last year's interest. So you're going from like 1.5 million average to about 1 mil average, and you can see at Worlds it peaked again at 1.61 mil. So I kind of just realized this right now, is that basically Unite is literally doing the same exact thing as last year, except we don't even get a new map this year, right? Release of a broken Mon, 0 competitive announcements for the West side, is going to result in us having another dip during this time of the month, or to this time of the year, where it's going to go down to like 800k. Honestly, probably even 700k this month. And then once next UCS is going to be announced again, it'll probably obviously go back up, but it might not go back up to 1 mil, right? It might go back up to like 900k average or 800k average. Who knows? If it follows the same trend as it did the last 2 years. And how this kind of affects us as pro players as well is that not only, like, I guess I can talk about this in like another video, but in my opinion, this is also the reason why like us as a region like NA, we looked really, really rusty at the first couple months we played UCS, because nobody was playing the off season because there's pretty much nothing to do, no interest. That's like another topic. But so my goal as like an individual or as a pro player obviously was to win Worlds, right? And so I've won Worlds twice at this point. I'd say that I've achieved that goal. But after pro play, I wanted to kind of turn this into like content creation, maybe try to make like a living off of this, right? I just kind of wanted to see where this game would go in the next couple of years. And because when I won regionals and Worlds last year, I was only 17. I just turned 18 at the time. I just graduated high school, so I thought about it, and I had a couple of years to where like I'm gonna give this game a shot and see what happens. and like I'm gonna take like a 1 or 2 gap year out of college, right, to see what I can build up on Twitch and YouTube, and that's kind of where I was at after last year we won Worlds. But like as I can see like this downward trend, and especially since the game is pretty much just literally it's going through the same exact thing this year as it did last year. It just tells me that they didn't learn anything from like their broken mon release, like the cash grab quote unquote for like legendary mons, and then having nothing going on for the West. Like that's not to say that like, oh, like we should have our own ACL, or we should have the winter tournament because we won, right? Obviously, I know that this like Pokemon company was based in Japan, and I think it's honestly like perfect, right, for Japan to have those tournaments because that's where like a good amount of their traction comes in as well. But to have absolutely nothing for the West, especially after winning Worlds twice and being second place runner-up team for Worlds 1 as well, is just kind of like absurd to me. And it just feels like the amount of time I'm willing to invest in this now is just going down and down. And I don't really think I can play this game or like become a content creator for this game and have like a reasonable, sustainable income for like future, right? So obviously I've decided that like this year I'm gonna 100% start college, and obviously I've already made my decision. I still want to play competitive this year. I've already said on Twitter like how this year's Worlds was absolutely amazing. I think the UCS season itself is honestly like perfect the way it works. The only thing that was like kind of sketchy was the groups being only one team to make it out of groups is kind of a little unfair, a little unreasonable. But other than that, like all the events, all the LAN events, especially Worlds had such a big peak this year. Like I thought everything they were doing was absolutely perfect. It's just what they're doing outside of competitive for like the actual game, which is like the majority of the player base, making one character pretty much dominate the entire meta for like the next 3-4 months, and on top of that having 0 competitive tournaments to make like the top like 5% of players, all their drive to play competitively is just gone, right? Real quick, I kind of just wanted to shout out Red Love really fast for making the Redlock server. In case you don't know, I'll put a link to the Discord in the description, but Red Love made a server for people that want to get into the competitive scene, and they're hosting in-houses daily, often like multiple times a day, where you can just join in and you can play. Mewtwo's permanently banned, so you get to kind of experience what it's like to play competitively with like draft enabled and everything. It's honestly a fantastic server. At the beginning, it was even rivaling like Reddit, which is the biggest Pokemon Unite Discord server in like active players and like channels and stuff. But it is a fantastic time, especially if you want to get into the competitive scene. So I'll definitely leave the link in that description for sure. But like besides that, that's like kind of really the only thing going on for us right now, I guess, like as a region and competitively. And it's kind of like sad in a way that this game is just, it feels like it's just gonna keep repeating its same mistakes and inevitably just die, right? Like obviously I still have much hope for the game. I still love playing this game and everything that it's like done for me in return as well, but it's just a little hard to, like I said earlier, just keep investing the same amount of time that I have these last couple years if the game is just gonna, or the company is just gonna pretty much, it feels like honestly just like disrespect at this point, right? Not listening to like the community like whatsoever, especially on Twitter. It takes like, you can look up Pokemon Unite on Twitter and 90% of the posts are just complaining about Mewtwo, and they just completely ignore what everybody is saying, like all the feedback they're giving. It just kind of feels like doomed a little, in a way. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to make a short video, I guess, update on like my stance. It's also kind of a reason on like why I haven't been streaming Unite as much recently. I've been streaming another game, but yeah. Other than that, I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about like my opinions on if the game is dying or not, or like my standpoint like as a pro player and like what I want to do in the future. But yeah, other than that, I do appreciate y'all for tuning into the video. I want to say Unite streams will return soon, but I mean, who knows when we're gonna get another patch and the game is gonna be fun again. So Other than that, peace out, y'all. Have a good rest of your night, day, whenever you guys are watching this, and I'll catch you guys next video. Peace out.